right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m.
This is a flagrant violation of international law.
President Biden announces what he calls the beginning of a Russian invasion. New video overnight shows Russian troops on the move. What the building tensions mean for you at home.
I'm Denver 7's Veronica Acosta. One big impact we'll all feel: those rising prices at the pump. What's being done to make sure they don't skyrocket?
Plus, a tragic update after a home explosion shakes a Westminster neighborhood. This morning, officials believe they've found human remains in the rubble.
And throwing out the typical 9 to 5.
Our whole vision was reinvent how work gets done.
How more companies are embracing gig and contract work.
Well, if you have a gig that's taking you out on the roads this morning, be careful. There are some slick spots after getting a little more snow. And if you can work from home, I say do it, because it is so cold out there.
Yeah, at or below freezing across the Front Range this morning. The big metro school districts have told us they are monitoring the weather, but so far class is going on as planned. The Platte Canyon School District out near Bailey is closed because of the weather. The Bennett School District is on a delayed start. It is a Denver 7 Weather Action Day once again, though, as we take a look at the current wind chills below zero across the state. I want to get right out to meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo, because there is more light snow expected today after that fresh layer overnight.
Yeah, within the next 24 hours, we'll pick up more. I don't know about your dogs, but mine made it maybe 2 steps out of the doggy door. We've got a nice little mess on the back porch. You're going to find temps this morning at about 2 to 5 degrees below zero. If you are taking your dog for a walk later today, it is going to be warmer than what we saw. Still cold, though. Light snow will develop later today again, and then overnight tonight we could pick up another 1 to 2 inches here in the next 24 hours. Take a look at our current temperatures. Now, these again aren't even the wind chills. This is just the temp out there near the Aurora Reservoir. 8 below right now. Golden, Evergreen, Conifer, all about 10 degrees below zero, and we're right at that zero mark here in Denver. Highs are going to be right around 10 to about 17 degrees. Warmer again in the mountains today compared to what we're going to see across the plains. That's going to flip-flop tomorrow. Things will start to warm up, and we're expecting more sunshine tomorrow. I'll show you that on our Super 7 Day Plus. A beautiful weekend ahead.
Really slick conditions in a lot of spots. Folks are getting a little bit comfortable, going a little bit fast, and we're having some crashes, unfortunately. One up by Johnson's Corner on I-25 near Highway 402. You can see some of the other conditions down to the south side, over on 225, down across I-70. Take a look at the other quad split, where you see that we have some very slow traffic still on 270, northbound 225, trying to get up to a wreck that's right over by after Colfax. This one's over on I-70, the westbound side, right after Peoria. You can see that left side is all blocked up here, and C-470, a lot of snow cover over there too. So the drive times reflect some of these issues for us this morning. 270, we are open after an earlier crash out there, but we still have some heavier drive times in downtown. I-70 from that wreck that you just saw on the westbound side right after Peoria, and then half an hour on northbound 225 getting up past that wreck that's right before I-70. So still some slow areas, still some slick spots, especially off the highways. 2 bad crashes, especially one, it's a T-bone over at Mississippi and Gun Club out east.
All right, well, you can watch conditions in your neighborhood anytime by downloading the free Denver 7 Plus app for your cell phone or streaming device. We have a 24/7 weather stream, radar, and hour-by-hour forecast on there.
This morning, a warning that we will all be feeling the effects of what Russia does next in Ukraine.
Yeah, new this morning, Secretary of State Antony Blinken called off a meeting with his Russian counterpart, saying the Kremlin has rejected diplomacy. And this is a look here, if we have it, from Kyiv, Ukraine, where leaders say they're prepared to fight for every inch of their land. This morning, the international backlash against Russia is intensifying as new video shows military vehicles in Russian-controlled separatist regions of eastern Ukraine. Ukraine's government says Russia-backed rebels are firing into government-held areas, appearing to be stoking a military reaction and a pretext for Russia to use for war. New images from Colorado-based satellite company Maxar shows a buildup of Russian military supplies near Ukraine's border. The U.S. believes the Kremlin is also stocking up blood supplies.
You don't need blood unless you plan on starting a war.
800 additional U.S. troops, along with fighter jets and helicopters, are being repositioned to support NATO allies in the region. President Biden is condemning what he says is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. In response, the U.S. is imposing punishing sanctions on Russian banks, business elites, and their families. The Kremlin is also blocked from trading on American and European markets.
No Russian financial institution is safe
if the invasion proceeds.
The move comes after President Vladimir Putin declared 2 Russian-backed separatist regions in eastern Ukraine as independent, then deployed his military into the region where rebel forces control about a third of the land. Analysts say Putin may try to claim even more of the area.
His plan all along has been to invade Ukraine.
President Biden is threatening more sanctions if Russia doesn't back down.
Who in the Lord's name does Putin think gives him the right to declare new so-called countries on territory that belong to his neighbors?
Meanwhile, President Biden also warning we will see more higher gas prices because of Russia's invasion and the political fallout.
Yeah, at one point we heard $7 a gallon might be a possibility. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is here with what the administration is doing to keep those prices down.
All right, well, whether we like it or not, it's really likely that we're going to start seeing those higher prices at the pump. And here's where we stand right now. Cheapest gas you can find in Denver. Take a look. It's just under $3, $2.99. That's according to Gas Buddy. But AAA says on average, Coloradans are paying $3.35 per gallon. That's up slightly from just a month ago. And just yesterday, President Joe Biden said his administration is using, quote, every tool at their disposal to limit the effect on gas prices in the U.S. after announcing those sanctions against Russia, which does produce 11% of the world's oil. He did acknowledge it's likely we'll see rising prices at the gas station in coming months. However, he didn't say this, what specific actions he and his administration will take to stabilize those gas prices. Oil hit $100 per barrel yesterday. That's the highest price in 7 years. And I just checked the early commodity markets. It's down about 0.5%. Now, a senior White House official did say the sanctions the administration put in place against Russia were deliberate ones. They were done to impact Russia's economy, not ours. The last time the administration stepped in to help, this was in November and December. But you guys, we're still paying really high gas prices.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Highest since 2013. Thank you, Veronica. Minutes after President Biden announced those new sanctions on Russia, FBI officials asked all U.S. businesses and local governments to be on the lookout for potential ransomware attacks. And we will continue to follow the conflict and the developments and impact it's having here at home on air on our website as well, thedenverchannel.com and the Denver 7 Plus app.
Well, neighbors in Westminster have a lot of questions after a home exploded in the middle of the night. It was a scary scene, and you can see all that's left of the home, debris scattered everywhere. We brought this to you as breaking news yesterday morning, and now investigators say possible human remains have been found in that pile of debris. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us from the newsroom this morning, and Colette, officials are still working to find out what caused this blast.
Yeah, it's a really sad update to the story, Brian. Police say a cadaver dog alerted them to possible human remains after nearly 12 hours of working out in the cold to try and find out if anyone was in the home at the time of the explosion. While we were out there during the investigation, the family living in one of the damaged homes right next door says the house was condemned last April after a fire. Now, one of many questions, what's being done by the city to keep people from going inside of a condemned home? In the security camera video, you saw those moments leading up to the explosion early on Tuesday morning. Those living nearby say it sounded like a bomb went off. Artwork fell off of some of the walls of some homes, even across the street. The 2 homes on either side of the explosion were damaged, along with cars outside. Some neighbors tell us they contacted the city of Westminster, concerned about the safety of the home after seeing someone continue to use it while condemned. We reached out to the city for clarification, but haven't heard back yet. We also know Adams County posted a notice back in 2019, the start of the foreclosure process, and a public auction was set for December of last year, but it didn't happen.
It's a really sad story, but he caught it on fire like 8 months ago, and he's been living in it like ever since, and like trying to stay warm and starting little bonfires and stuff like on the inside.
It's been burned out, boarded up, and it's had a inhospitable sign on the door, but the previous tenants were still, going in and out and living in there.
The cause of the explosion is still being investigated. Getting an answer could take a couple of weeks. The Adams County coroner will be releasing the name of the person believed to be found once family has been notified. Live in the newsroom, Colette Bortle on Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Colette. New this morning, the Douglas County School District could have a new superintendent by the end of next month. The board finalized its timeline late last night. It has members selecting one or more finalists for the position next week, then potentially offering a candidate the job on March 22nd. Board President Mike Peterson said about 8 people have applied so far for the job.
Well, it is right now still a Denver 7 weather action day. Now it's 6:10. We are down below zero. We're going to get just above it by about 7 o'clock, and then we'll start to see those temperatures climb each hour. Near 10 by lunchtime, and then we're going to hit highs in the mid-teens today. Tomorrow is a lot warmer than this. We'll take a look at that. I mean, it's still going to be chilly, but sunshine is really going to help tomorrow. Jason, details on the Super 7 day coming up.
Yeah, and any sunshine we get today, like yesterday, will also help some of the roads, dry them out. If we're driving around, if we can see some pavement. Right now, we're driving on Broadway northbound in Boulder coming up to the hill, and you can see how snow covered it is right now as we just passed the door or some of the sorority houses and fraternity houses. Right now it's going to be a very slick drive, not only in Boulder but around town. We'll take a look at some of the trouble spots for you coming up in just a few minutes.
After years, you might finally be able to watch our Colorado sports teams on Comcast soon.
Also celebrating Palindrome Day with a promise. We'll introduce you to the Colorado couple who used 2-22-22 on a Tuesday to say I do.